light of the difficult decades, Great Gables has become a dynamically developing city that is a source of pride in the eyes of its residents. Although there is a lot going on in the streets, the city authorities do everything to maintain order and safety. However, do the families living there share these opinions? Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. We're back again with another installment of my Neighbourhood showcase series, and this time we're exploring Great Gables. Uploaded to Mod The Sims in late 2024 by Just Vierzabar. I do hope I'm saying that name right. The HUD comes in both an English version and a Polish version and contains the following: 8 families, 12 unoccupied residential lots, 6 apartments and a whopping 28 community lots. But perhaps the most exciting element at play with Great Gables is that it has custom scripting. We just love to see it, don't we? Now, if this is your first time hanging out with us experienced HUD explorers, hi there, welcome. What we do here is read the family descriptions, choose a few household whose storylines we find the most intriguing, and then we'll conclude by touring some of the community lots. Alright, so let's get stuck in. But before we do that, I do just want to point out that I do believe this is the Veronaville map here. And again, I just think it's fabulous how well decorated it is. It just looks absolutely wonderful. I could never pull off something like this. Just the sheer amount of time and effort that's gone into this, it's very much clear to me. When Mitchell and Akissa were offered better positions in their careers, they started packing without hesitation. Their growing sons may not be their top priority, but they lack nothing. Despite their parents' well-off bank accounts, will Matt and Nico grow up to be decent people, according to the spouse's short-term expectations? With these two crimes and misdemeanours have no end, the similar yet different Cornett brothers don't have a good name among the neighbours. For a long time there has been peace in the city. Is this a gradual change in these men, or is there another reason behind it all? Or is it too late for them to turn on the right track in the eyes of society? For several decades, the Tennant family has been an example of an ideal family, currently headed by Vesuvius. The unyielded head of the family wants to maintain the system that has been in force in the family for generations at all costs. The new generation has a hard time adapting to the rules that prevail at home. Will the intertwining modernisation and, paleo-conservatism tear the family apart? The Cornwells are certainly one of the most loving families in the area. Michael and Valeria, who value good manners and honesty, want to help their daughter through puberty together. The caring mother dreams of becoming a famous writer, but she is worried that she hasn't had any inspiration for a long time. Will the Cornells live to reach a turning point which will shake the whole family, especially Valeria? As a mayor elected from term to term, Cordelia is trying to stay in office at all costs. Cynthia, benefiting from the position of the mayor's right-hand woman, did not consider it important that her friend's methods were based on. Now that she has discovered the truth, she tries to pretend she knows nothing. Will Cordelia, unaware of the threat to her career, continue to rule? Are her tricks and intentions for the city and its residents really good? Although they live a quiet life on the outskirts of town, new responsibilities await them every day. For generations, the Jubies took care of their land and their own family through farming. Unfortunately, Phillip feels that this tradition is slowly coming to an end. Since his grandson moved in with him, Old Farmer was once again filled with hope. Will moving into a farm be an equally quiet life for Blaze? McHaglers are known mainly for the good quality of their products, which they obtain from good and natural sources. Adamias and his wife were really happy with the fact that their life's work was so popular. Unfortunately, many things have changed and the family can barely make ends meet. His daughter bends over backwards to help him, but will the teenager notice that she is slowly destroying herself with this approach? Having gone through some significant times that strengthened their love even more, Mary Louise and Florin made a vow of silence. The Atradidas, I think I'm saying that right, always like to create a family in which love and warmth come first. Now that their daughters are almost adults, elders are putting far more effort into the farm. Is this a good move as the children enter the unknowns of adult life? The first family we are checking out is the Frowdy, which is the mayor. So we have Mayor Cordelia Frowdy. She is a fortune sim who has the want locked in to earn 3,000 simoleons. I love it when creators lock in wants like this. It just points players in a certain direction. Her lifetime want is to become Mayor level 10, which I'm assuming she has already completed when we check out her career tab in just a moment. If we look at her family tree, we can see that it is very in-depth. She not only has parents, she also has grandparents on either side, which I think is just such a wonderful detail. And it looks like her partner Jonathan here has passed away. He passed away as an adult. She is best friends with Cynthia, who we saw in the family bio. We will get to learn a little bit more about her in a little while, but we can see that despite being best friends, there is some tension. They are at -22 as their overall lifetime relationship right now, so that's not good, and I'm very curious to see what went wrong there. And as predicted, she is a Mayor level 10 in the politics career. She has a high charisma, logic, and creativity skill. She also has a talent badge in gardening, which you guys know I love to see talent badges in this game. She is an Aquarius who is neat, outgoing, super serious, and really grouchy. Smiling to people, arrogant behind their backs, Cordelia believes that everyone is aiming for her position and want to take away her power. She doesn't tell everything to her only friend, thinking that she is too stupid. Cordelia likes to play dirty, but she assumes that the results are the most important. She knows that people don't live by promises alone. They certainly do not obey. You have money, you have power. Wow, she sounds like a total... When I do these types of videos, I don't typically check out interests just because I feel like it would be too time consuming to go through all of them. I do think it's interesting, however, that her politics isn't higher. I don't know if this was just like an oversight, the creator just didn't pay much attention, but if it was me, I would just like drag it up and make her super interested in politics, super interested in money, but something like that is just a very easy fix, so I'm not too worried about that, that's fine. But what we do have is hobby enthusiasm. Again, I love to see it. She actually has the membership to secret lots in games and music and dance, but her one true hobby is science. She also has very in-depth memories. So let's just go ahead and take a little look. So it looks like she was given all of her like toddler skills by her mother as well as her grandmother. So I'm guessing her father really wasn't in the picture very much. That's my interpretation of it. I think he might have passed early. I think this is her father. I'm just going to quickly go and double check. No, this was her granddad. So I'm curious to see what the deal is with her dad, why he hasn't been much of a figure in her life, or maybe we'll find out a bit more. Now, there was a fire which killed her mother and her granddad. That's really sad. And then she had a lousy birthday party. She learned parenting. Very early on, she mastered the gardening skill, which I love. Maybe that helped to get through the grief. And she made enemies with her father, Emmanuel. So that is such an interesting detail. I don't entirely know why. I'm not sure. I guess that's just up to player interpretation, but I really like that. There was a burglar. That's Jamie Chapman there. She moved out. There was vermin. Wow, she has had a rough life. There was the repo man who took the lamp for some reason. She briefly worked in the educational career. She did end up quitting her job and wound up in politics instead. And she slowly worked her way up through the ladder. This memory here is a mistake. Mayor Puck becoming enemies with him. This is an easy fix in SimPE if you know what you're doing. It just takes a couple of seconds. It's a very minor oversight. Overall, though, I am super impressed with how well done these memories are. Everything just fits together and tells a story, and I just love it. So she did get engaged to Jonathan. They fell in love, had a first kiss and everything. They woohooed. They got married, and apparently he was a rich sim. I don't think I've ever seen this in a custom neighbourhood before, but we have the memory of went on an island vacation, which I just love. I think that's brilliant. She learned to hula dance and she swam in the ocean. She inherited money. She won a fight with these people who I guess are... I may have to check on this as well. I'm assuming they're part of her family given the surname. Yes, Anna and Thomas are her in-laws, so she did not get along with them. Love that. That's really cool. That's a really fun little family detail. She moved in. She found a roommate. We do also have a couple more oversights here. Just the death memories are green and not red. Actually, I don't think... Hold on a second. I think she's actually happy. I don't think this is a mistake at all. I think the creator was trying to say that she is happy about the death of Thomas and Anne, and maybe even Mayor Pacquiao. Wow, I love that. That's great. So discount what I said earlier about the green memory. Where was it? Completely lost it now. Here it is. Okay, so this is not a mistake. She also has a negative memory of meeting Maya Puck. So that is definitely 100% intentional. Again, I just love that. She seems to be happy about the death of her in-laws. That's pretty grim, Cordelia, I'm not going to lie. The creator has also spent some, but not all, of the aspiration points. They don't have a secondary, but we have a few that have been spent in fortune here. Next up, we have Cynthia Juby. She is a knowledge sim, so quite a bit different from Cordelia here. I'm betting that she's probably going to be a nice sim, is my guess. Her lifetime want is to max out 7 skills, and she has the want locked in to be best friends with Mary Louise. We have an amazing family tree for Cynthia. Her mother here is still alive, as is her brother. She also has a daughter in Valeria and a grandchild in Nita. So Phillip here, so he's got like his own family and everything. It's very in-depth. You could just spend ages just combing over this, trying to figure it all out. But I think it looks wonderful. I love the inclusion of having like grandparents and everything. It's just that nice little extra touch that we just love to see. It is worth noting as well that she actually does not get along very well with her brother. However, she does have a very good relationship with her mother here. Cynthia is a senator, level 9 in the politics career, so just one step behind Cordelia. She's a good cook, she's good at mechanical, she is excellent at charisma, logic, creativity, and she can clean a little bit as well. The only thing I am noticing is she doesn't have very many friends required to succeed in the politics career. And she also has talent badges. She's got a gold in gardening as well as sewing. She is a Pisces who is kind of shy. She's active, serious, and quite nice, as I predicted. Quiet but inquisitive Cynthia always looks for answers to the questions asked. Although she ambitiously helps her colleague, she does not appreciate her efforts and doesn't tell her everything. After accidentally discovering one of her scams, she learned more than she expected about Cordelia's family and frauds by delving into the subject. Cynthia doesn't really share what she knows, but she wonders what to do with such interesting knowledge. At night, the woman often thinks about what she did in the past and whether it's too late to fix her mistakes. Her one true hobby is arts and crafts, but she also has some points in music and dance and games, very much like Cordelia here. Time for memories. So we have the standard toddler ones. Looks like she was potty trained by both her mother and father, assuming Ted here is her father. She was rejected for her first kiss. That's depressing. And then they fell out. They were no longer best friends. She was also an overachiever at quite a young age. She mastered gardening and she maximized the logic skill. She had her first kiss and fell in love and woohooed. Lucian died. She was also fired from the dance career, which is really unfortunate for her. She lost another friend in her brother. I'm not really sure what happened there, but she did wind up getting another job. She was not happy about becoming a mother. And then we have a lot of grow-up ones. So-and-so joined the family, death memories, that kind of thing. And she has recently become a master sewer. So incredibly impressive memories here. Clearly a lot of time was taken to fully flesh these out, and I very much appreciate it. The creator has given Cynthia a secondary aspiration. This time it's family for her. I do like that not all of the Sims have a secondary, so you can choose with some and not with others. I like that. I think that's a nice detail. Before we check out the house, I just want to quickly cycle through the family album here. So this is the one that we saw on the family bio. But then it looks like there's a funeral here and everyone's sort of weeping. That's a really great picture, by the way. I think they did a really good job with these thumbnails. So it looks like this is Cordelia's father, like kicking her out of the house. We do know that they had a very difficult relationship. And it looks like she's maybe praying to her mother, maybe for guidance or something like that. That's my interpretation. And here she is with Jonathan, her love. I'm assuming this one is still Cordelia. It could be Cynthia. I think I could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure there who's that. But a lovely little romantic scene here. We have a pregnant Cynthia coming to Cordelia here. She seems to be crying. Wow, she is working this poor woman to the bone. Like, she is a horrible, horrible person. Poor Cynthia. And this is Cynthia discovering something that she probably shouldn't about Cordelia. I wonder what it is. Well, look at this. Isn't this just absolutely beautiful? I think it's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, this is just stunning. I really like this. It feels sort of expensive while also not taking up a ton of space either. So you will not have like lagging issues or anything with this lot. They've got a garage over here, and then this of course is the main house and a lovely garden. As we come into the house, we can see that there's like a little foyer here. We've got a kitchen. I would have liked maybe a bigger kitchen just because this is, of course, like such a wealthy family. Like being the mayor, of course, you'd expect them to have money. But I do think that it's very nice. It's very well decorated. And you can tell that the creator has given them like some of the more expensive objects. Like this is one of the most expensive toilet and sink and mirror in the game, at least as far as I remember. We've got the dining space, which also bleeds into the living room. They've got like a nice big TV over the fireplace. I really like that. Of course, I didn't mention, but they do have two cats in Ross and Amira, who are just wandering about over here. They've got some pet supplies with the bowl and things like that. If we come upstairs, we can see that the vibe of the house is, I think, a little bit different. Like downstairs, it's a lot more sort of brighter, and I would maybe say even a little bit more modern. Upstairs, there's a lot more like dark brown, just maybe even a little gothic, if you want to call it that. But I like that kind of contrast. I also love the bathroom as well. Really nice use of colours there. We've got the sewing room. This would belong to Cynthia since she's really passionate about her art. And this here would be Cordelia's room. We can see that there is this picture, this portrait of her. I think that's fabulous. Again, stuff like that just elevates a hood for me from good to amazing. But I like how sort of dark and sort of gothic-y vibe it is. Oh, she's got a money tree. I do wonder if this is the secret. Like this is what Cynthia found about Cordelia that she shouldn't have. She's got her office space over here. She's got a computer and a bookshelf. I love the use of the ivy on the walls. That's great as well. Ah, there it is. I was just wondering where Cynthia's room is, and it seems to be on the very top floor. That's a little annoying for her. But this is her bedroom. I like this. I think this is really a really clever use of the space. I very rarely build like attic spaces like this. But yeah, it's really cool, and it seems over here she's got like a love card. Oh, again, the attention to detail is just fabulous. Already super impressed with this family. We are now going to move on to the next one. No, we are not. I lied. I completely forgot. I went all the way into Neighbourhood View before I realised that this HUD has custom scripting. So I need to press play and read the notification that we get. So here we go. There's nothing better than money, right? Cordelia wants to earn as much as she can. Cynthia wonders, isn't it the best time for the first conversation with a certain woman? So I do believe this is about Cordelia maybe talking to Cynthia. Like she fears that her friend here, her colleague, knows something is up. That's my guess. If I'm completely missing the point here, please do let me know. I can be a complete blonde sometimes and just an absolute idiot and lack common sense. But my understanding is that maybe Cynthia found out that Cordelia has been printing money, maybe even rigging elections, something along that line. And now Cordelia is worried that Cynthia knows, and so she wants to confront her. But I love the use of custom scripting in this neighbourhood. I think it fits so well. I wanted to check out the Judy family because this is like Cynthia's mother and brother. So this here is Appeline. She is a family sim. She does not have a want locked in, but her lifetime want is reach golden anniversary. So far it does seem like these have actually been chosen for the sims and not just randomized. So I like that. That's a nice touch. She is also nearing the end of her life. I predict she may have like 2 days tops. So she was married to Ted, and they had Phillip and Cynthia. Looks like they also had Marianne, who died as a child. That's incredibly sad. But it looks like Charlie here is her grandson. She's also lost another grandson in Stan. And Valeria is obviously Cynthia's daughter and her grandchild. She is a retired crime scene investigator, level 3 in the, I think, would this be like intelligence career? Maybe, I think, or maybe... Oh, I don't know, actually. It's not law enforcement. I think it's intelligence. I think, but I feel like I've rarely ever seen this career path before. But she's an excellent cook, really good at charisma. She has a very high mechanical skill, logic, and cleaning. She also has talent badges. Don't we love it, guys? We really do. She is an excellent gardener and sewing. Now, I didn't mention this with Cynthia, but Cynthia is obviously from this family, and this is like a family of farmers, so that checks out. It makes sense. She is a Virgo who is extremely neat. She's shy, she's active, she's serious, a little on the grouchy side. Appeline didn't think she would live this long. She remembers a lot and experienced a lot as well. She doesn't really find her place in the current world. The only thing that hasn't changed dramatically is her favourite floristry. She often spends time in her bedroom, wandering somewhere with her thoughts. I can relate. And her one true hobby, as you might have guessed, is nature, but she's also passionate about cuisine and she has a membership to tinkering. Makes me think that she once loved all things mechanical and DIY, but has since maybe lost interest over the years. Guys, we have a ton of memories. I'm really excited. It looks really messy. I'm excited to jump in and check these out here. So it does look like her mother did all of the training when it came to her being a toddler, which I kind of feel like, given how old Appeline here is, that kind of makes sense. Like if you think about it from like a timeline perspective, like back then maybe it was more socially acceptable for the mother to pick up all of that kind of mothering duties as opposed to the father. He'll go out and work. That's just my guess, but I like that little detail. She grew up well. She learned how to study from her mother, so she was a very hands-on parent. She also taught a nursery rhyme to Richard. That's really cute. She was annoyed about meeting General Napier. I wonder why. I haven't got a clue. There was a fire and she made enemies with the general. Makes me think that maybe he had something to do with it. She moved out under not great terms. Who is this general? I tried to find something in her family tree about the general. I couldn't, so I'm not entirely sure who that is. But she didn't like him. She moved into a new place. Oh, she got arrested a bunch of times. Wow, okay. And then her mother died. Her father died. She made enemies with Colonel Christian. Does she come from like, hold on, does she come from like a military family? Maybe like, I don't know, like was her dad in the military and she like grew up on a base? I'm not really sure there. But she got a job as a nurse, as a medic. She lost a fight with the general. Richard grew up badly. She did maximise the mechanical skills. So she has had some positive moments in her life. But overall, it's been a lot of tragedy. But things seemed to have taken a turn when she met and fell in love with Ted. They quickly got engaged, they kissed. She joined a Greek house, so I'm guessing this all happened when she was in university. So despite her difficult upbringing, she did end up going on, I guess, to at least trying to get her degree. Whether or not she got it, I'm not sure. She was chased by Jacob, a soldier. Oh my gosh, what is with this woman? Did she kill Jacob? I mean, it says here, like, won a fight, and then he died. Like, did she punch him to death? Is that what happened? Is this woman a murderer, is what I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. And then Ted got busted, so they're like partners in crime. and then I guess they killed another soldier. She snuck out with him. She became a master sewer, just like while in prison, I guess. She adopted Cynthia. Okay, so that's not like her biological child. She was adopted. I think that's interesting. She taught Phillip to walk, and she had a fight with another guy. She keeps running away, this woman, like just constantly running away. She also quit her job as a like a paramedic, whatever it was she was employed as at the time. But she did get a new job. Yes, it was intelligence. I was correct. She reached her golden anniversary. She also she inherited money from her husband who passed, and then she retired and all of that good stuff. So incredibly impressive memories. There's a lot to unpack. I couldn't possibly properly do that in this video. It'll be way too long, but you could have a lot of fun with this, just trying to interpret what all of this means, who is who, and all of that kind of good stuff. So that is Appeline. I just think she's such an interesting sim. A proper little rebel. I definitely would not have had her pegged as a family sim. Maybe that just came like later on in her life. I am curious to see if the creator gave her a secondary aspiration. No, but I think if it was me, I might have gone for like fortune or something like that, just to kind of justify why she's committing all these crimes. Like, is it for money? Like, what's it all about? I need to know. Next up, we have Phillip Juby, who is a knowledge sim. He would like to kiss Matilda. I do believe that's his wife. Yeah, that is his wife. His lifetime want is to reach golden anniversary, which I think he might be able to do. He is unemployed, but I am guessing, like, I'm pretty sure this is like a farmhouse from what I could gather from the family bio. So that's like his job. Now, if it was me, I would put him in self-employed. That is a mod that you can get on Mod The Sims. But that's just me. You know, just takes a couple of seconds. That's what I would do. He has some cooking skills, charisma, logic, creativity. Let's check out his talent badges. And of course, he has a gold in gardening. He's an Aries who is neat, outgoing, kind of in between lazy and active, serious and grouchy. Philip's priority has always been to make every effort to ensure that his crops are of the highest quality. On the one hand, he is irritated that his son has been fired, but on the other, he knows that there are more hands to help him on the farm. When he's not working outside, he looks after his mother to make sure she has everything she needs. At least this way he can show her gratitude and how much he loves her. That's cute. His one true hobby is nature. Let's check out his memories. So he learned to talk and walk and potty train, did them all, mostly by his mother, but his father did contribute. He moved out and was an overachiever. He burnt spaghetti. I can't stand spaghetti. Any more spaghetti haters here? Because I hate the stuff. He fell in love with Matilda. They kissed. They went steady. Some very nice memories for him. A lot different than his mother's. He had Charlie, and then shortly after the birth, he lost his sister as a best friend. So that's really unfortunate. He has travelled as well. He's been on a Far East vacation where he learned a local greeting and a massage. Then there was a fire, and Charlie became his enemy. Ooh. Which I guess resulted in Charlie growing up badly. So there is a lot of drama in this household already. He does not have any aspiration points spent, but of course you could do this yourself. Just dub them, bam, sorted. Next up we have, I don't know if it's Matilda or Matilda. My guess is Matilda with a silent H. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she wants to join the garden club. Wow, okay, I love that as a want. I feel like I don't see that very often. I always ban the garden club lady, so this would be fun to play, do something a bit different. She's a family sim who wants to reach golden anniversary. She's very much in love with her husband. She hates her son as well. What is so wrong with Charlie? I need to know. Wow, I was not expecting her to be a vice squad in the law enforcement career. She looks like just a homely little grandma to me, but that's really cool. And she actually has all of the skills required for a promotion, so she'll get that on, well, today, I guess, if you send her to work. She also has a bronze in gardening, so I guess like since she married into the Judy family, she's not a great gardener. This isn't part of her family tradition, but she's picked up a few things, from spending time with her husband over the years. She's a Pisces who is super shy, she's quite active, serious, and very nice. Matilda is proud that her family farm has survived a difficult period in history. She considers home and family to be the most important values and that these memories need to be preserved. Since Blaze moved in with them, the woman has been doing her best to provide her grandson with a new home. That's just lovely. Her one true hobby is cuisine. And these are her memories. So she actually didn't do particularly well in school, even after learning to study. She did make best friends with Hippolytus Appletree. She made a wish. That's cool. She grew up well. She had a great birthday party. She got a promotion. What job does she have? Oh, there it is. Okay, so she's been in law enforcement since she was a teenager. All of these lovely memories for her husband. She had Charlie and everything was great. But she got pickpocketed, they went on a Far East vacation, there was a fire, and then she made enemies with Charlie. I'm guessing Charlie did this on purpose. He set fire to something, and now there's a big falling out, which is very distressing given that she now lives with him. Alright, so that's the memories for Matilda here. That's very interesting. She also burned cheesecake. She does have a secondary aspiration, and that's popularity. Alright, Charlie, my boy, what is going on with you? This is Charlie Juby. He wants to join the entertainment career. He's a pleasure sim. Okay, so I think I worked it out. I think these are his parents and his grandmother's incredibly hardworking. Did he get along with his grandma? Not particularly. And I guess he's just more like a slacker, a bit of a layabout. He wants to become a prestidigitator. That's his lifelong ambition right there. Yeah, so he despises both of his parents. He seems to have a good relationship with, I think this is his son, I'm fairly certain. No, this is Stan's son. Yeah, okay, this is his nephew then, I think, right? Yes. In terms of romantic prospects, there's really only one, and that's this woman called Molly. Whether she's married or not, I'm not entirely sure. She could just be a townie. Not sure on that, but it's a possibility. They do have two bolts together. He is unemployed, which I feel like we already knew that. He has some mechanical skill, a very high creativity points as well. And no talent badges. That's definitely going to upset his parents there, who are pretty passionate about farming. He is a Libra who is sloppy, outgoing, lazy, serious, and quite nice. Charlie has always felt like the black sheep of the family. Now that he's lost his job, his father keeps reminding him of it. In the back of his mind, he knows it's best time to do something with his life. He wants to show his parents that he's capable of more than digging in the ground. After losing his brother, Charlie wants to bond with his nephew more. Maybe he'll have someone to talk again while he's putting engines together. Alright, I feel really bad for Charlie. Bless him. Alright, so he is interested in tinkering, and let's see his memories as well. He should be good. So his mother taught him some of the skills, and he lost Lucy, who I'm guessing is his grandmother. Learned to walk from Phillip, his dad. He was scared by a clown in the box. I love these quirky, different type of memories that require just that extra step. Like, you can't do this via SimPE. At least from my experience, I couldn't do it anyway. So I like that the creator has given attention to things like this. He got a job in Slacker. He got a promotion. There was a fire. I guess the fire maybe took place at the birthday party, and that's when there was a big, like, falling out. And he does not have a secondary aspiration. Finally, let's check out Blaze here. Before we do anything else, I just want to quickly remind myself of the family tree. So both of his parents are deceased, and now he is living with his grandparents on his father's Stan's side. So he is a romance sim. He wants to fall in love with Adeline, and he wants to become a captain hero. So I'm guessing he wants to maybe follow in his grandmother's path. He is a D- in school. That is not good. He also doesn't have very many skills or talent badges. He is a Cancer who is sloppy, shy, he's serious and quite nice. Blaze had two options, either go to an orphanage or to the care of his grandparents in the countryside. He often visited them with his parents when he was younger, and he always wanted to live outside the city. He loves his grandmother's cheesecake, which she bakes every Sunday. He met Adeline while helping his grandfather deliver vegetables to a local store. He quickly caught feelings for the girl. When he is with her, the teenager feels his worries and distress disappear. Words are hard. So that's his bio there. Let's check out his enthusiasm. We know that his one true hobby is arts and crafts, but he hasn't spent a lot of time with his hobby so far. He is still a teen. Again, standard toddler memories. He actually did learn this from his parents. I wonder when they died. He got caught sneaking out. He got fined as well for messing about with the emergency service numbers. And then his parents passed. Oh, they died in the fire. Okay, is this the one that Charlie may or may not have started? I don't know. He also learned how to breakdance. A very cool memory, again, one you don't see all that often. And he does not have a secondary aspiration, which is absolutely fine by me. I do not like my teens to have secondary aspiration, but that's a personal thing. So I'm kind of glad that that's not chosen. That's what I would prefer if I was to play this HUD. Before we check out the family home, I do just quickly want to press play and read the custom scripting notification. Charlie wants to show that he can do more than just fix cars. He has set himself the goal of finding a new job. Blaze wants to confess his feelings to Adeline. He's afraid of rejection, but he wants to be honest with her. He wants to invite her over whenever he'll have some free time, which I don't think will be today, given that he does have to go to school. So if I was to play this, I would wait until 1 p.m, have him come home, maybe invite her over afterwards, and as for Charlie, focus on trying to get that job he so desperately wants. And this is the family's ranch style home. I love that there's already like a ton of plants already planted in the garden. So we've got like tomatoes here, eggplant, we've got pole beans, cucumbers. Yeah, and we've also got the scarecrow. That's a nice touch. And this would be like Charlie's car that he's been working on, which I think, yeah, it's almost done. It's just the engine and then it needs to be painted. And then they've got a proper garage. I guess this over here would be like an outhouse on the far left. So I've just been sat here for a couple of seconds just trying to work out what the deal is. This supposed to be like real chickens? I think this is supposed to be like a chicken coop. Oh my god, that's so cute. I couldn't figure out if this was like they were selling decorative chickens, but I think it's actually supposed to be as if they're real chickens. That's a very clever idea, actually. I really like it. You can definitely get a mod that allows you to get real chickens in the game if you like, but I'm an idiot. It took me so long to figure out what was going on there. But I think this is like a silo of sorts. And then let's check out the main house. Oh, but first, I like what they've done with this. I like this. The little patterns and stuff. Very clever. Very creative. So this here would be like the main house. We've got the living space here. I do notice they don't have a TV, unless there's one over here. They have a very small one. I guess like maybe stuff like this isn't really a priority for them. They're more like sit down and read a book in their spare time or spend time as a family rather than watching TV. But we've got one bedroom downstairs. We've got a lovely kitchen with my favourite set in the whole game, and that's the country collection. I love that they've put things on top of the fridge here, just like making it more decorative. There's a lovely pink bathroom and a dining table with the like cornucopia. And if we come upstairs, we can see that once again, there's 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. So I'm not entirely sure which belongs to who. I would have to spend a minute just trying to figure that out. But I do like the look of them all. Someone's already working on a painting here. It's Charlie, of course. Another thing to note as well is the house does come with like these plants that you have to use. In order to have these, you have to make them with like the florist bench. So I like that kind of touch. This isn't just something you can buy through the catalogue. I'm pretty sure the same can be said for this. Isn't this like from the witches thing? I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But I did also notice this. How cute is that? Just like little family pictures and everything. Clever. So I did end up cutting this section of the video out just because it would have run way too long. I feel like a lot of the memories and that took up quite a bit of time in this video, and we do still have some community lots to explore, but I do just quickly want to jump on here and recommend that if you're going to play this HUD, to check out the Cornet family, because it gives more of an insight into the deal with Cordelia's corruption as mayor. I was pretty shocked when I figured it out. I loved searching this house, but like I said, it was going to make this episode way too long, so we're now going to go ahead and check out some of the community lots. B. Crumplebottom Restaurant. Here you can order dishes that your grandparents ate. Really tasty. Here we have the restaurant. First impressions, I really like the industrial look of it. There's quite a few buildings in this neighbourhood that have this kind of like rundown industrial kind of vibe, like the bricks and everything, and I really like that. It's one of my favourite styles to do in The Sims 2. We've also got a bus stop here, which I'm assuming is going to be like quite a big theme of this neighbourhood, which I really appreciate. I think that's a really nice touch, fits really well with this type of HUD. This here is the restaurant. This is called Crumplebottom. And I like that it's kind of like a mismatch. This isn't like an upscale restaurant. This isn't even really like, I guess, like a date location. It's just somewhere you would come in for a quick bite to eat. If we come upstairs, we can see that not only is there more seating indoors, but there's also outdoor seating as well. I always like this in restaurants and bars and things in The Sims 2. And you can come and like listen to a live band and all of that. So it's I don't think I would use the word cozy as such. It's more of like a bar slash restaurant, just a very casual dining location. Oh, it's romantic upstairs. Like there's a little candlelight and 2 chairs, and you can sit here and just overlook the city. Like how cool is that? I just love that little detail. I think they did a really great job on this kind of lot. Let's just kind of zoom out a little bit. Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. A really fun location. I like the use of the stairs back here, kind of like a fire escape. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Great Gables Central. Restaurant, cafe, clothes shop, flower shop. The heart of Great Gables is where most of the action takes place. You can eat well or relax with a coffee, explore the city centre and share your impressions. For our final community lot, I decided to check out this one because it kind of functions as like multiple community lots in one. And I also just absolutely loved the street view here. Like, just look at this. It really feels like a city. There's not like a lot of space between buildings. This is the kind of neighborhood that I can only dream of building. I think it's absolutely amazing. They've done such a good job. There's so many community lots. I believe there was 28. So this is going to be the last one that we explore. But like I said, it kind of functions as like an all-in-one. There's quite a lot to explore here. So let's just check out the exterior first. I do really like that the entrance is kind of on this like side angle here. We've also got like a photo booth outside. I love the street lamps as well, like the consistency. They run all throughout. They're all like in a nice neat row. We've got that little breakdancing thing just on the bottom here, if you can see on the left hand side. That's really cute. I like that. I hardly ever use that. But it does look like on the bottom floor we've got the restaurant, or maybe this was a bakery, and we've also got the boutique as well. This is a very impressive lot. So we've got like an actual boutique. This isn't like some kind of chain clothing store. This really feels to me like an actual boutique. This would be an interesting lot to try and run as a business. It would be very challenging, but if you like that kind of thing, this is definitely the type of thing for you. This I would say is more of a coffee shop and bakery. And again, I like how sort of creative and outside of the box this creator is. These here are like just decorative objects, and they've clearly put them here to kind of portray. I'm not entirely sure what type of baked goods this would be, but it looks like it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, they've done a great job on this bottom floor. What else have we got? And if we come upstairs, we can see that there's more clothing yet again. We'll go up again. More clothing. We've also got like community toilets here. That's really nice. That's a nice addition. You always need them on community lots. And if we look off to the right here, we can see that we have a like floristry, which I'm wondering if this is, I've completely forgotten her name. Is it Appeline from the Judy Family? If this is like her favourite floristry, it might not be, but this is fabulous. It's just so well decorated. Again, you could definitely be run as a home, as a community lot, as an owned business, because you got the florist bench. Yeah, that's so cool. It's just a shame that you couldn't have multiple playable Sims owning like each unit. But otherwise, I just think this would be so much fun to play as a community lot business. Back here, we've got more community toilets. This is in a lot more rough shape, I think, than in the boutique, as you would expect. What else have we got? Is this part? This is part of it as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I thought that this section here was like a different community lot. It's all one. That's crazy. So as we come in here, we've got like a much nicer restaurant than the last one that we saw. It's more like, I don't know if I would call it fine dining necessarily, but it's more along those lines. We've got the kitchen back here. What else have we got? There's like poker table. There's a little like pet shop, I suppose. Oh, this is so cute. They've done such an amazing job with this. We've got a bar as well with lovely like pinks and red colour. Again, another bathroom, another community bathroom. I'm wondering if like this is also functions as like a B&B or like a hotel. This definitely feels like it'd be in like a touristy section of the neighbourhood. I don't think you could actually have Sims live here because it is registered as like a community lot. But I like the idea that this runs as like a B&B or a touristy kind of hotel. And that concludes this episode of my Neighbourhood Showcase series. I do hope you have enjoyed. As always, the link to this neighbourhood will be available in the description box down below. I highly recommend you check it out for yourself. It is completely CC free, of course, and it has custom scripting. As for a camera mod, I feel like you would probably need one for a neighbourhood of this size, but do double check the creator's post just for clarification on that. I have to be honest, when I first saw this neighbourhood, I didn't think that it was going to be as in-depth or as well built as it is, and I was truly blown away when I started to get in here and get my hooks in and kind of explore every little nook and cranny. I know I say this in every single video, but I feel like we've just barely scratched the surface. There's still like 6 families left to explore. There's another 26 community lots. You can always tell when a creator has poured their heart and soul into a project like this, and it really shows. Just the effort that has gone into this is palpable. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, I would so appreciate it if you would give me a like, maybe even subscribing if you're so inclined. But that's about it for me today, guys. I do hope you have enjoyed. I will see you in the very next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and happy simming.